useful, and every college should have a food pantry. You should care because 1 in 4 college students are parents, so it's hard to focus on school, work, and trying to provide for the child. So if you have a local food pantry, it will make it more easier to get food that could provide for you and your child. I'm Robert Browse, and I'm an Intro to Communication student online at ULA. Today I'm going to tell you about my service learning. First, I'm going to tell you what I did, and then I'm going to tell you about a principle and 2 concepts connected. And finally, I'm going to tell you how I can improve my open communication in the community. Moving on, I completed my service at ULA Food Pantry. They're open through the summer as well as the fall and spring. The summer hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3. But when the university is closed, it's closed as well. You should care because on this campus alone, 50% of students and staff have food insecurity. The mission, according to ULA website /food pantry, is to supply ULA students and staff to lower the percent. Now I'm going to tell you about my experience. When I first walked in, I met a lady in charge named Ms. Amber. It was located on ULA campus at Abbey North. While there, I helped transport canned goods from the food pantry to the DSC building on the 6th floor to the office. And I also, when we made it to the office, I had to help separate the cans, like green beans, the corn, and the cornbread from each other. So when people come to get food, they can easily go to get what they need. It helped the goal because we made more room by taking the food, we made more room for more donations, more food donations that was needed. Now, there's a communication principle and 2 communication concepts connected to my service learning experience. You should care because communication is an important thing. Anything we say can make us look a certain way. The first, the communication principle is communication process is irreversible. The definition, according to ULR Survival Guide 2018, is communication is interpreted. The interpretation becomes part of 2 of the person's cognitive history. In simple terms, there are no do-overs. An example of this principle that relates to my service experience is when the lady in charge, Ms. Amber, gave me direct orders on where to take the food, the canned foods, and how to separate them and stuff. So if she would have reversed, it would have been very hard to get everything back to her. Now to the concepts. The first community concept I chose was sympathy. The definition, according to Allen, Rahman, and Dupree 2017, is compassion for another situation. An example of that from my service learning experience is me choosing the food pantry because I know many people that live on campus or the people that work here probably don't have it as good or have much food to, like, especially people that live on campus because they limited to certain foods. The second communication concept is empathy. The definition, according to Allen, Rahman, and Dupree 2017, is the ability to project oneself into another person's point of view. So expressing the other person's thoughts and feelings. An example of me doing that is when we was taking the carts and the food to the DSC building. One of the people that was volunteering with me, they was having trouble pushing the cart up this little incline. So I had pushed my cart inside the building already, so I ran back and helped them. So that shows need of care. I put myself in their shoes and feel like if I was struggling with some pushing or something up there, I would want help as well. Moving on. Based on my service experience, I can use communication concepts and ethical implications to improve my communication and to help improve my community. You should care because if everyone knows about this, it will make communication with our peers a lot more easier. One communication concept I could use to improve my communication would be attitude. The definition, according to the textbook, is the predisposition to respond to an idea, person, or thing, favorable or unfavorable. I chose it because if everyone would have had an attitude that was at the food pantry, it would have made the job it would have made the volunteer experience more difficult, and probably wouldn't have been as much fun as it was volunteering. I can use this concept to improve my communication by being more approachable, and that don't let simple stuff like make me upset. An ethical implication I could use to improve my community will be fairness. The definition, according to URL Survivor Guide 2018, is considering all sides of a situation without showing favor to our interests. I chose this ethical because if Ms. Amber didn't show fairness, then some people that was volunteering with me would have more work than others. I could use this ethical to improve my community by not choosing stuff based off what I like, but based off what's right. In conclusion, today I told you about my service learning experience. First, I told you what I did, then I told you a principle and concept, and lastly, I told you how I can improve my community. Thanks for listening. And hopefully we can get more food pantries in every college. Thank you.